honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was gassed. I was like, babe,
Pray for me.
You know, and then also you'll see people just be like pregnant, never seen their man in.
I was holding it in.
I was trying to hold it in, man. I was trying.
We need to actually.
Yeah. What's going on, guys?
What's going on,
Welcome
guys?
back to another episode of the Point Podcast with your boys Afro and Mike. And yeah, bro, we're excited about today's episode, aren't we?
Yeah, man. We're excited. We're excited. We saying though first.
Firstly,
you good?
Yeah, I'm good, you know, bro. I'm a little bit tired, but the excitement is keeping me.
Same. I'm excited.
I'm excited. I can't lie. How about you, bro? How you doing?
I'm tired because the CEO was sending one mad email this afternoon.
Is it saying what
He's been
on a
doing
Friday?
that this whole week, 5 people got fired on Tuesday. Then another person got fired on Wednesday.
You what?
Then another one resigned yesterday. And then he sent one email about AI automation
Oh
today.
my days. Why is he bulldozing?
And basically, essentially telling a department, you've got 2 months left. Oh my God.
Are you joking?
I'm being so serious. I'm being so serious. I told my sister today, because my sister likes to gist at my workplace. So I was filling her in. So a lot is happening right now, but we thank God because, you know.
Because you're not affected.
Lord.
You know them Christians, guys, where it's like, but God, it was but God. Everyone else didn't get the job, but me, I got it, boy.
Do you know what? Yeah, I honestly, condolences to all of them. I'm with all of them. Sorry to them lot that lost their jobs and whatnot.
Yeah.
God got me, boy.
So hold on. Not God put a fortress around you. Okay, wait, hold on. So your boss is trying to lean out the company, basically.
Yeah.
So he's trying to automate things and cut the costs.
Yeah. Basically, but the people that they got rid of was like low performers, according to my sources.
Mad.
Yeah.
Isn't this the same boss that walked in the office and was like, you're all back in the office Monday to Friday?
Yeah,
now?
and he's the same guy that went into the pub and told those guys your job is under risk, and then he actually fired those guys.
That is what?
Yeah.
He fired them?
He fired them.
Yeah. I
Fired
can't
them.
lie.
They got called up into the boardroom and said, yeah, you fired.
That is a madness.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Wow.
Yeah, but hey.
Is that making you think about like...
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I said the guy got me.
I'm there. God got me. Like, honestly, with everything that I've been through, just to even get that job and what I've seen over the past 18 months at that company, yeah, God's got
You actually, to be, I can't lie, he has, because there's been there things that have actually happened.
So it's one of those ones. So
Yeah.
I'm not.
And because of your role, AI is not going to come in and sweep that.
Nah, they ain't taking me out, man. They need me, man.
Nah, they need you. They
right
need
now.
you.
And
That's why you need to be
even when they don't
indispensable.
need me, I'm gonna find another one, and God's gonna have me there.
Amen,
as well. So
amen,
We're not
amen.
even worried. We're not worried out here.
Okay, that's good. That's good, bro.
I got an event-filled weekend, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that because
We'll talk about that.
Oh, am I anyway? Yeah,
We'll talk
about it.
We'll talk about that.
But alas, hope you guys are good. If you haven't already, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all the good things. I think we should introduce our guest.
We should, because we've got a guest for the first time since we've been back.
Yeah, this is our first guest, guys, since we've been back, and we've been doing it solo, duo,
for like the past 14, 15 weeks now.
Yeah, but because we did a certain episode and we were talking about No More Mr. Nice Guy. If you haven't seen that, please go and check it out.
It's a good one.
That was a very good episode, and we thought, we need to bring in the heavy artillery, because it's not just the male perspective that we can just share on this.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? We need to really, really get the female perspective. So we decided to bring back friend to the show. If you've been a long-time listener of the podcast, you will have recognized her face. She did a very, very great episode with our friend Esther. And we just like to bring her in to get the female perspective. She's a content creator. She's a media maven in her own right. Ladies and gentlemen, Kibibi Bailey.
Insert shouting and claps. Yeah,
claps.
that.
I will put that there.
Yeah.
Kibibi, what's happening?
I'm good, guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm good. I think it's really nice. It's already been nice talking to you. You know, as I said, I've had quite a tiring week in that way. But I feel good in this moment.
That's good.
So it's really good to be back. And can you believe it's been 7 years? Like, I think it's 7-8 years, guys.
That's mad. Because when she came in, the Kibibi told us that basically. Because when was the last episode we did?
It was before COVID.
That's mad.
Oh,
so it's at least
days.
6, and it could well be 7.
Yeah.
And no one looks older. Everyone looks the same.
We
Thank
all
God.
look the same. Yeah. We ain't aged. Black really don't crack.
It doesn't crack because you look exactly the same. Everybody does look the same.
Thank God.
What have you been up to in that last period of 7 years, Kibibi, for the listeners?
Listen, I mean, life has been definitely ups and downs. We've got into that a lot more.
Boy.
I think for me, I've done a lot more moving around in terms of even where I'm living. Just getting to know myself more as well. And I think just kind of further advancing myself in the creative space as well. I mean, I'm committed to this thing. This is a very long journey as well, I will say. I would sometimes I think I didn't think I'd be here at this age where I'm at still, you know. But obviously with God as well, He does sometimes slow us down. Kind of like similar to a slingshot. You go back first, and then
what did we talk about today? The spirit is one. We were literally talking about that today. Me and Afro earlier today. I was saying, because Afro, we were talking about kind of the creative industry and obviously pursuing different creative things. So one of the things I did this year is I featured in a film, but people, which was quite cool. But it's always been like an ambition of mine to get into acting. But I've kind of just seen it as it can be quite a long thing to do, and the arduous process and stuff. I mean, Afro were talking about how, like, a lot of the time God does pause things to then slingshot you. Because when I was on set now, I was amongst people, and this is not in a boastful thing, but I was just among people who I actually admired, that I was like, Rob, I'm in the same thing as you, but you've been doing this longer and all of these things. So God redeems time, essentially, basically. But
Listen, I love that,
So we were talking about that kind of pause and slingshot thing. Interesting.
Another thing as well that came up for me recently is that I was watching a podcast actually.
Yeah.
And the guy said something that really stood out to me, like with regards to even being a creative. Yeah. In particular, I'd say, it's kind of about also praying, like what's I'm very talented, multifaceted, so many different things I could do at any time. But what is my intentional contribution to the body? Literally, that one question is so like, oh my gosh, it's fully loaded, you know? So, I love that, honestly. And when it's your time, it's your time. That's another thing. I'm just leaning more back and just saying, do you know what? It's fine. When it happens, it happens. Whether it's that viral video or whatever it is, there's a connection in the same room as me, and that it was really interesting. Whatever it is, I'm actually just really starting to just free up now and just relax because,
it's a long game.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
Explain for us, like, what is the kind of things that you do in that multifacetedness?
So, I mean, I would definitely say I've been given the gift of mouth, like speaking.
Gift of the gap.
I think gift of communicating. That's what I would say. Definitely a communicator that comes through things of singing. I really sing in church anyway, so that's where I do sing, but still communicating, speaking to people, podcasting as well. I do have a podcast called the Glow Up Tribe. It is on pause.
Okay, it's on pause.
It is on pause at the moment, but there's a podcast there as well. I would also say I have a certification in coaching actually.
Okay.
So it's not active, but I definitely have one thing I've realized about myself is I've got a people calling. So, I feel like coaching is an invaluable skill, literally something you can do with your friends, your children, whatever it might be, colleagues. So for me, I wanted to kind of really get that wherever that comes out, which is my podcast is one of them, but just in life itself. Content creator as well, working with different brands, street interviewer. There's so many,
doing bits. So you go on the streets and do that, the vox pops, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, you're outside, you're doing the things.
Various things, even helping people now. TikTok shop hosting is what I've also been doing.
Come on, I'm trying to get into that, so we'll talk after that.
I've been actually helping people recently. I've been helping people to show up on camera. What do they need to say? Because I've been doing this thing now for about maybe a year and a half, 2 or so. TikTok shop, guys. TikTok in general is slept on. I feel like many people don't understand actually like the power of TikTok.
Absolutely.
And it's evolving very quickly, and people are making a lot of money.
Yeah, they are.
A lot of money. So
they
I'm
are.
Get into that.
Yeah. Afro's looking
that
to
is
do
one heavy resume, one large CV. I love that for you. Love that.
Must be quite difficult for.
Yeah, it's I would say it's. One day I'll write a book, of course. But I would say it's like a blessing and a curse when you are so talented. And I thank God for the trusting me with that. But it's difficult.
Yeah.
You have moments where you're just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I have those moments. I feel like every 6 months.
Yeah, we both.
Yep. You're preaching to the choir right now.
Honestly, you're just like, and then you're also like, okay, well, there's so much in me, but yet why is the math is not mathing? Because why is my bank account like? Why am I here like actually questioning whether it's a tin of sardines or like I'm living on the bread. Like, what's going on, Jesus? Something is not actually equating.
So, sardine good for you though. It's good for you and protein, full of protein and omega 3.
No,
yes.
Sardines or pasta.
Oh, pasta.
The ideal one is both.
Okay, so yeah, it would be nice to have them mixed.
Carbs or protein.
Yeah, which one can I choose today, God?
Energy or muscle building? Which one?
Which one, boy?
Oh my God.
Listen, the life of a multifaceted person is not easy.
No, it's not.
Because you're trying to hunker down on one, but then you're interested in the other thing as well. So, yeah. But it must also be kind of tricky and difficult when it comes to, the dating realm. Because, there was a little transition there. I tried to find it. Because obviously you're doing so many things. You're busy, you various different interests. So it must take a particular type of person to kind of capture your attention, I'd imagine. Is that right? Or
not really, actually. I feel like my approach to dating in general is not, I wouldn't say it has a creative premise to it. It's literally the deeper things,
Okay.
I'm looking for my life partner. I'm not here to just aimlessly date or just here for the moment. And that's another thing. We'll get into that in a minute, but there's something that's just come up in saying that. But yeah, I'm into the things of emotional intelligence. These things matter, to me, and self-awareness. These are things that are also heavyweight in marriage. So I'm looking for the deeper things. Like what you do actually doesn't really matter to me too tough, as long as you're also able to cultivate in me. So your girl's got greatness in her. So I'm not just here to have the babies and look cute on your arm. I definitely want, to have something back. I need my man to be a gardener. I need you to actually be able to have that ability.
Are you a poet as well? Because right now
it's giving poet. But you know that's what husbandry is though, isn't it?
This is it.
Like a husband is a gardener. That is actually what the phrase is. Yeah.
So yeah, it's the deeper things. Okay. So
right.
I would say that I think I've been struggling like most, especially Christian ladies have been struggling over the past
how many decades, centuries, boy?
Thousands of years. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
Is real.
What is that about? Yeah. What is it?
Because let's get into it. Kibibi, what is happening?
I think what I've actually started to assess and actually analyse, not that anyone
analyse,
in this position, is that sadly what's going on when the more you're left on your own. Is the more that most women, we're working on ourselves. Is that restart?
No, you're good. You're good.
Most women are working on themselves in that time. And I know that many men are about their bag, which is all great, but that can only go so far. If you've got a woman that is going to counselling, starting to know her triggers, stuff like that, communication, these things that are life skills at this point, and it adds value to you as a person, and you've got these guys that are just about, yes, fair enough, whatever, 100k, but it's all great. But
it's always 100k, isn't it? It's always 100k. That's the starter number. Wow.
But who are you? Like knowing of self or your passions and interests, and as I said, things of emotional intelligence. These things are so critical. And then you've also got that's I guess on the natural aspect of things, but then you've also got the spiritual. There's, as I even said even before we started, rolling as it were, there's many people that think they're actually saved and they're not saved. There's many people that think they're in relationship and they're not. They're really in religion or they're just spiritual. So it's just we've got a problem, and I feel like the divide is getting bigger as you get. As I said, as you stay on your own, the more you're on your own, the more you're doing for yourself, the more you're developing whatever, and then the divide is getting sadly wider.
Do you know what I think has happened? Yeah, I think that religion, in terms of its kind of basic kind of premise, right, has become really popularized. Obviously, religion, millions and billions of people are religious, right? But in terms of, I'm talking like from a cultural popularity media landscape, I feel like religion and spirituality has kind of become this really like kind of like new trendy thing to do. So it's like, it's a new age, yeah. So it's like, oh, how can I get the things of God but without the God? And how can I kind of get the blessing but without having to follow the precepts of that thing?
Also, can we just not miss this point?
Yeah.
I even saw another podcast and it was like, or heard something, and it was kind of like, many people are choosing New Age because they don't want to do the process with God. They want to skip the process. Like, fun that's long. I'm gonna get what I need to get. That's witchcraft will ever have to do. To get what I need to get.
Because ultimately I'm after that thing. You know, it's interesting you say that, because I think, again, like you said, it's New Age, people going into these different ways of trying to kind of like basically get a thing, right? Whether it be money, whether it be a partner, whatever it is. But do you think that, like, for women in the church, especially who, you know, they're sticking by God, they're staying faithful to it, they're going to the Bible studies, they're going there, I'm a stick beside them now. I'm a stick beside them now. Right, I'm a stick beside him. Y'all stick beside him, but like, where that Boaz? Where that Boaz at? Because last time I checked, the baddies, what's that one? What's the grandma that's the baddie? That one.
What grandma?
She's a grandma, man. And she's a video vixen.
Video vixen?
Yeah, man. What's her name? You lot will know, you shouldn't know, but you lot might know. What's her name? Bernice.
Bernice Berger.
Bernice Berger. Like, women like that, they seem to be getting all the things. Like, even Jennifer, what's her name? Jasmine Sullivan. Hotels. She put out the album Hotels.
Hotels.
And one of the lyrics is kind of like, why is it all of these bad bees that are getting all the things? So where does that put Christian women? Like, what y'all still sticking beside him, or y'all ain't going down to the witchcraft house?
And also, like, what has been your experiences with the Christian men, the perceived Christian men that are in those spaces? How
so good?
What does that look like?
Yeah. That was good.
At this point, it's how long do you have?
Are we here?
Oh, we here, baby.
We here.
So
okay, so let's go for question one.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that put Christian women? I mean, we're here. What can I say? And I feel like what it is that when you get to certain ages, obviously, guys, 7 years has just gone like that. Things have changed now. My body's changing, and naturally, things of biology come up. You know, I've got one friend that's actually she's actually quite doing quite well financially. She's actually gone down the eggs route.
Freezing the eggs.
That does cost about 10k plus, guys.
Is that just a one-time payment
for one child?
I don't know. I'm just intrigued.
To do it, and then you have to maintain. So there is other payments that come after that. But once again, it comes with a certain level of affluence. In that way, I'm not there. I'll be honest. I'm not there yet. Jesus, you know. So you know, and in general, many people are maybe, I guess, falling along the wayside or choosing their own paths, whatever, because they're lonely. I'm tired, or whatever it might be. I'm just tired of doing life on my own. The struggle is real, you know, and then also you'll see people just be, you know, and then also you'll see people never seen their man in like never seen their man in like.
I was holding it in.
I was trying.
Yeah. That's one of the teasers.
That's one of the. Let me just take a sip of this here.
Oh gosh.
Oui, as you were. Sila, as they say.
Never seen the man in your whole life, just pregnant, and there's no explanation. Not that they need to explain to you, and it's just it is what it is. Your girl got down, and there's a baby that's come from this, and. But I do think now that I'm at this age, because I used to actually judge ladies. Actually, if I'm honest. Oh, guys, why are we laughing?
Sorry. Yeah, it's just oh man, yeah, okay, right.
Gun.
I used to judge ladies, admittedly, for oh gosh, wow. I mean, Jesus can't be doing that much for you if you're here failing to. I'm just being honest, you know, oh wow, well, how close are you with God, or whatever it might be, the judgmental thoughts. But now that I'm here, and I'll just happily say my age, 37 years old, and it's
you look fantastic for 37.
You do.
Thank you. I'm literally like, okay, Lord, I'm trusting you. And the thing is, as well, I think for me, I've had to actually lay down my desire for a family as well, because that can't trump, as much as I do want my babies, I do. And the thing is, my reasons for wanting children as well are also kingdom. Lord, I want them to advance the kingdom. It's more than pretty pictures on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? I want to experience being a mother, but I want to also, come on, Lord, advance your kingdom. My children, I'm not here to play games. So it's like, let's go. And then obviously my family, my marriage will be ministry. So it's just kind of like, Lord, all the desires, I believe I'm saying the right things and wanting that from the right place. So, but it has come to, if I never get that, then I have to be, and I will find contentment because I have Jesus. And I know, you know, I didn't honestly see myself saying this, if I'm honest, but obviously God is doing a work in me. So yeah, it's layered when you get to certain ages and stages, and I get it as well. I try to be quite empathetic and just, as I said, remove judgment and just be more curious about people. And I can actually see all sides of the I don't know, the scope, whatever it is that I'm looking at. So
I really want to double down on some stuff that you've said there, but I want to also for you to answer the second question, just so that we don't go off.
Answer it, because now I've got another question on top of that question as well.
Okay.
So with your newfound understanding of where you're at in life, right? What does that look like when you date? What has that looked like when you date, and what did that look like before you had that understanding as well when you were dating? So
So, I mean, I would say, dating doesn't last long for me, or me talking to a guy. What I found out over the years is that my recovery time, in terms of when I'm speaking to a guy and all that, is very quick now, because I think I know more about who I am and what I'm not willing to compromise on, my non-negotiables. I don't have time to waste. So why are we here talking about if you don't want to wait for marriage, you want to get all busy, that's not what I mean. You know, I don't want to say I'm going to try and keep myself. I want to say I'm going to keep myself, and I want someone that's actually in alignment with that. That's just an example. So what's the point in us continuing talking if we're just wasting our time because you've got something you don't want to give up on, and I'm here saying, well, this is what I'm about. So there's a misalignment there.
So you're more kind of on your convictions. You just are solid on
and
those.
Before as well, I used to be very much, I'm someone that's a people person. So for me, what I've realised about myself in dating as well, once again, being left on my own for so long, is that I'm naturally, I do street interviews. I talk to strangers every day. I'm quite open. So my connection with you, or building a rapport, it actually can be quite quick for anybody. So I realised that we need.
That doesn't always mean romantic. Because I'm the same. I'm in that way.
Actually, like, do you really? Is there something really here, or is this just another person that is?
Yes.
And that it can just be that moment, and that is that you never see each other again. So I've had to start to really, once again, it comes from a place of emotional intelligence and actually talking to myself and being self-aware. Is this something? Could it be something? No, I don't think it is. No, it's just cool. So there's different layers there. I don't know if I've answered your question.
That you answered that third one. The second one that was posed to you initially was how has that kind of affected or what have you seen from kind of Christian men specifically in terms of dating?
Christian men, I mean.
Look how we're being represented, bro.
Well, damn.
Look at how we're being represented.
Wow,
man. Come on.
That was a
snigger.
That was a snigger.
We ain't perfect, though.
I just think there's sadly, like the Christian men, and I think these days you have to be specific. You have to be. I'm talking about a follower of the commandments of having a relationship. I'm talking about an active relationship now, and actually I'm very intentional. I explicitly say it on the apps now, because I want to try and find out where you are exactly. What are you saying you're a Christian about? Does it come through in your conversation? And so, sorry, I've lost the point.
It's okay. Go on.
So we were asking. So what does that? What has your experience been dating Christian men?
So yeah, I mean, I would say I haven't really necessarily seen Christ in these men. They've just been nice men initially. As I said, we get on, we're cool, but it's not necessarily, he's, or even admiring his relationship with God. I'll just be honest, it's not really been that. It's not really been the standout thing. It's just like, maybe it's just he's fine. Oh, Lord Jesus, I would definitely like to, like to kind of ideally have a family with him, but of course, that's
a very PC way of putting it.
That's fleeting, that's fleeting. That's fleeting.
Ideally have the family. I like how you put that. That was good. That was good.
Lady.
Yes, you are indeed.
So yes, it's fleeting, but once that dies down, it's like, what is there really that is actually drawing me to you? And it's just, there's not really much there.
Right.
Has there been like a common theme of behaviour that you've seen from these particular men? I mean, apart from the fact that, you don't see Christ in them, but like, is there anything else?
Even last year, me being ghosted, I said that to you before, just as we were chit-chatting, guys. I obviously said about this guy ghosting me, and I met him at a wedding last year. To be honest, I thought he was very great guy. He even went, it's funny because I was in a very vulnerable place actually. I was actually quite I don't want to say suicidal, but sometimes I've wrestled with suicidal thoughts before, and I was in a low place. I was in a low place, and my sister, I was only really going to the wedding because my sister, who is my sister, not blood sister, but my sister, she was, I didn't want to, she invited me, and I was her only +1, and I was like, I have to, I'm that kind of person that okay, we're going to have to stand on business and just put your face on and keep it just for the sake of the other person, so I don't want to let her down. And I just thought I have to put myself, aside for this moment. So I went to the wedding and met him, and he actually spoke to my sister because she was very protective of me as well. Obviously, she was like, okay, what's up? She's older than me as well, so she's got, I guess, a natural big sister thing about her. And he did well there, and if I'm honest, I just felt he was really into me, and time went by. And eventually I got ghosted.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, and this is from a guy that is in the church, goes to the church.
Mad.
Speaks about the church. Clearly there's something there with God.
Which one though?
I think
which God? Yeah, that's which one. That's a good point.
I think he even prayed. He prayed, first guy to say, can I pray for you on the phone?
Wow.
I forgot that one. Thank you, Jesus. Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit just dropped that in.
It's a bastard.
I was like, obviously I'm not gonna, I was gassed, like, babe!
Pray for me!
Keep praying! This is not how...
Let me pray for you.
That's how I be gassing them,
yeah. Hey.
Okay. We see what God. We see that is crazy. Only for him to ghost you. We had an episode where we talked about self-sabotage, and we were saying that thing is definitely a thing that a lot of guys deal with, where sometimes it's not even you. It's never you.
It's never you.
It's never you. It's them. Either they feel like they don't deserve you, or they feel like they're just not the right type of guy, or whatever it is that makes them just decide to just get up on ghost. It's always them, never you.
And I think as well, for how I had actually been so kind,
I
look about my kindness, I was like, I was kind to you, even just to be a nice lady to you.
Yeah, you was.
The least you could have done is just message me, Kibibi. I don't think this is, I'm in a funny, even to say I'm in a funny place, I just know it's maybe the age-old line, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
That line still works.
It does work. It
That
does.
would have been something that would have been like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But just to I just felt it was just so, it felt like such a blow, because it's like I've been so supportive, and in the short time, just myself, not trying to be performative because of I want you to really like me and think I'm your wife, just being myself, and this is how you do me. Right. So that's the, and that's sad, because we were obviously still in our late 30s in that way. I'm still over 35. He's over 35. It's like you're grown.
So they're not giving up their thing.
So you're thinking, you're seeing it's like you should have outgrown all of it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still behaving in this manner?
What's going on?
Which I'm not gonna lie. I understand it. It's not an age thing. It's more of like it's mental.
Yeah.
He hasn't. He either hasn't had a conversation with himself or his friends. Nobody's told him like, bro. you really need to address these internal issues that you have.
Yeah, and I think with him as well, in particular, not that we're trying to focus this whole podcast on him, but he actually had a trauma with a woman. I think his last relationship, she cheated on him, I believe.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, and she even had a child, so he was, actually looking after the child, but not say child together, but he was actually doing the most by caring for her child, and then she turned around and obviously did it. So I don't even think he was healed from that.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. This is why self-work is so important. Yes, God work, but self-work is going to hold you, actually, I think.
Talk on it. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Damn, so the age has nothing to do with it. Just because he's older than 35, that's crazy. You know what? It's funny, yeah. I feel like a lot of guys, you know what? Sorry, let me just I'm just adjusting this camera. Cool. One thing I wanted to mention based on the first question that you answered.
Half an hour ago on that.
Yeah. That's right. That's why I did it. Yeah. Okay, come on. You wanna join us as a producer? You wanna join the team, Kibibi? Because the way it's going, this is kind of. But basically, yeah. You know how you said, all right, Christian women, they're sticking beside God, and the guys aren't coming, and etc. etc. There's two things I want to just throw out there into the mix, right? The first thing, obviously, we know that not everybody is gonna get married, yeah. So you talked about the contentment piece in terms of, if should I not get this thing, I will be content, and that I think is a beautiful thing to just to honor and to say that is beautiful for believers and unbelievers. An unbeliever hearing you say, like, my God is enough for me, I'm sure some of them might be like, okay, you lot might be crazy, or they're like, wow, that means this thing must mean a lot to you, right? So even that is a kind of form of evangelism. But aside from that, I also sort of think that when Jesus talked about this kind of concept of like, I think it's the Roman centurion who asked for Jesus to heal his servant, send the word, right? And he says, I'm paraphrasing, but along the lines, Jesus, he goes to Jesus, he says that his servant is sick and he needs healing. And then Jesus says, do you want me to come with him? And he's like, no, you don't need to. Just say the word and it will be done. And then there was another person, I don't know if it's the same story, but there's another parable where someone asked Jesus if he can do something. And he goes, what do you mean if? Of course I can do it. Do you know what I mean? And I sometimes think that the church can set people up with this kind of if thing, which I don't think is actually of God or biblical. I don't think it's a thing of, if I should never get married. If you want to get married and you have all that desire that you talked about, you're getting married. That's just a fact. That's how I read it. When I see these podcasts and I see women talking about, if I don't get it, then I will be. I'm like, it sounds very noble and humble and almost God honoring, but that's not what you want. And also I think it's more of a church thing that makes you say that just in case you don't get it. Yeah. It's almost like it's like when people go, if it's in God's will. Yeah. Jesus said, you ask anything you want in my name and it will be done. So it's in the will. That's just my perspective. So I'm just saying that to encourage anyone who's listening. Yeah, I think we need to lean off of this if sometimes and just dive straight into, oh no, I'm getting married. Oh yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Believe that you have received it, and then it will be yours. That are not as though they There's that element as well. Some people doctrinally, some people might say that isn't for us to do. But here, my brother Enoch is in the room. He'll know what I mean by that. But yeah, so. Why not take the stance of like, nah, I'm getting married? Like, do you ever take that stance, or do you kind of more see it as a dance of if? I still say I am getting married. Okay. I'm in wife prep mode. Okay. I see a husband there. I really do. Genuinely, I do believe as well. The Spirit of God has told me that I will be a wife. Okay. So I see that, but then I think it's just holding it loosely, and I feel like when ladies say if, it's a case of, and I feel like when you get to once again certain stages of life and you've seasons with God, you realize that life is lifing, and there's peaks and valleys, there's mountains and valleys, and it's just like, it's like, who am I to call it as like 100%? I think that's what it is. Because at the end of the day as well,
he knows the plans he has for us. It's kind of that. So
okay.
I don't think if is necessarily a cop out.
Okay.
I think it's just a state of
letting him do what he will when he will do it.
Firmly on the ground.
Yeah. Not idolizing it. Maybe is that part of it?
Not idolizing it and just being, doing all you can to, as I said, prepare. Maybe act in faith and still have the practical things, but then just still. Okay, well, yes. Should I get married? Da 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 da.
I think it might be some time for some stats, Afo.
Okay, go on then.
Unless you wanted to.
No. Go through.
So I was thinking, we did some findings the other day, thanks to ChatGPT, and we basically discovered big up ChatGPT every single time, and we looked at the kind of mathematics of the heart. The episode is called "The Mathematics of the Heart," and essentially we were looking at what the statistics are for eligible bachelors and bachelorettes for like people of our hue, right? Black people, yeah. The numbers were staggering. The numbers showed that there was around 130,000 black men and women between the age of 30 and 35
in the UK. Our age range. So
is that not crazy to you? 130,000. I think it was about 130 to
140,000, right? And that doesn't calculate for those who are married.
Insane. So, whereas in America, that same figure is, I thought it was 9. No, was it 4.3 million?
4.3 million.
So the pool is just bigger. So I guess the question is sometimes, is it a case of just like you have to go abroad to kind of find them, as opposed to like, it's not that God doesn't want to bring them. It's more, is the scope of where you're looking kind of enough, like you've laid your net, as they did in the parable where they laid the net to the right. Have you laid your net? But Jesus might say,
are you outside?
Are you expecting the man to break in? What is it? So have you done all you can in that way before you're starting looking at the
jumping on the flight?
The
green card.
Also, personal question for me: can you dress, babe? Can you dress? Can you dress well? Because sometimes I'm looking at you. Listen, God bless all of you, yeah. But like, some of you can't dress. At all.
What do you mean by that?
As in, there's no personality in the way in which you dress. It feels bland and uniformy.
Yeah, but remember they're covering their body for the modesty of the Lord.
I didn't mention that.
No, but
there's no personality in how they dress. I'm not talking about. I don't need to see the bits.
But there is no personality in church. We're all one. Remember? I'm joking. I'm being silly. But yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, there's no personality. It's just gosh, all right. Okay, yeah.
So it's boring, like
it's boring.
Okay.
It's boring. That's why.
So you don't think people are outside enough as well? Or?
I think there's definitely a common thing which I know about where women. I can only speak for women, but I'm not speaking for all of us either.
Too in the Bible study and the Sunday service and everything.
Have a tendency to be in all these maybe church events, or just homebodies, which is great. I do love my home as well. I do love that. I kick back there. I'm comfortable there. But then it's either, and then you don't want to do dating apps, but you're always inside. So it's like, so how are you going to break in? So it's kind of like something needs to give. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what are you going to do to actually, in some ways, exercise your faith as well?
Yeah.
Are you positioning yourself well? Are you trying to,
What would you say positioning yourself is?
What does that look like? What does that look like for you in your experience?
Positioning myself, I think for me personally and where I'm at right now is definitely being, I'm not gonna lie, I'm social, but I also have, my social battery runs quite quickly, I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like it's sometimes to do with the calling. I've realised that as a creative and as someone that is a people person, you're not always on 10. You need those moments where you can retreat and have your moment, home, and then you come back out, whatever it might be. So I definitely need to be more social, in which I'm trying to have an active summer anyway. Do some new things, new adventures, I think. Expose myself to new people. I think as well, guys, I've run out. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think trying to the apps have been something that I've been on and off with, admittedly.
What's that been like?
On and off. I think many of us have been like, because life is real. When you've got apps that are not your real life, it's like, I don't owe you anything, you don't pay my bills. It's what am I here? Once again, it's like a kind of you're investing time into this thing, and it's the same old questions that you feel like you're sometimes asked or being or asking. It's just, it can feel a bit repetitive and just a bit like, okay, Jesus, give me the grace. But then I have, as I said, started to identify ways that I can actually just make things quicker, less exhausting. I haven't got time. As I said, I used to be a bit more, I don't want to be too intense. Listen, I'm going to be intense to some degree, but then if you're thinking that's too intense and you're at your big age now, that's your business, because I'm here intentional. I don't have time to be wasting with you.
Right.
So we need to get some like things like the values and stuff out of the way first.
Right.
Because I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste yours. It's not just about me, it's about you as well.
Of course.
There's a man that even matched me for, I think he asked me something about, my kids are going to go to private school, and I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, ideally, yes, of course, but if we're financially not there, then I'm happy. I was all just playing humble. Open the chat. I didn't see the guy again. I was just
dang.
I must have said that it was an African man. I will say he's Nigerian, and I just don't think that boded well with him.
Oh no, he was. Well, dang.
It's like the if thing. And if they go to private school, he's probably thinking.
He's thinking, nah, their guy.
Children are going to.
They will go. They will go to private school. Wow. Yeah, I'm always of the thought with the apps, that the apps are private.
Have you used them, bro?
I have used them in the past. Yeah, I've definitely used them. I'm always of the thought that the apps are private companies. This is just where my brain thinks. It's like they're private companies. They have shareholders. They're incentivized to keep you on the app. So why would they find you something that's going to take you off of it? And so obviously Hinge, they market themselves as, the app that you're going to design to delete, and which is probably true in some fashions. I know people who've gotten married off of Hinge and things like that. So it does work. It's not to say it doesn't work completely, but I think if you're a people person, which you are, I think also sometimes it's like you want to get the aura of a person. You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult to tell that off of the app. Yeah. And also, it's like the same questions. Hey, how are you? What are you into? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do? Everyone likes to do the same thing. Everyone likes to have fun, go out, eat, go to the gym, go home, go work.
What else do you like?
What else is there? Everyone likes to do the same thing. So it's better that me and you just kind of make a move and go and do a thing together, physically outside.
That's now that it's more, there's more. I don't want to say urgency, but it's more intentional. Just in the first few weeks of speaking, I think just meet them.
Yeah,
because
agreed.
What we hear, we're not pen pals. You know what I mean? So it's just like, let's meet. Let's see if there really is a vibe and possible connection. Yeah, and we'll go from there.
Are you a friendship first kind of girl?
Yeah, I definitely do want friendship. I want to be able to be comfortable. Yeah. I want you to be like my homeboy, and I want to enjoy you. Right. Because I think that's I think the married couples in that way, they're thriving when they are friends first. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, it does.
Choose to be around that person.
Yeah,
you're not forced because you're in a covenant.
Yes. So, we know what them covenant marriages is like.
Boy. Well done. Do you feel like as if there's a drought of eligible men available?
I mean, I don't like to be negative Nancy, but sometimes you just have to say things as they are, and it's sad. I think for me, I'm saddened by, and once again, I said I'm quite empathetic, so it's kind of like I feel, a sense of compassion, and I just feel sadness for men that are not who they should be in terms of they're living a lesser life. They're settling. They're They're thinking that they're winning by, as I said, by earning. Let's not go for 100. Let's go for 200k a year or whatever it is. And as I said, gated community, whatever it might be. The success whatever that success looks like to you,
like the metrics.
You're not winning in that way, you know. And so I do think there's a drought in these men, and I feel sad for, I don't know how they've been raised, I don't know what's happened, how they've been raised, but then also at what point do you take responsibility for your life and kind of, as I said, address some things, the skeletons in the closet, the demons, whatever, that are attacking you.
Not the demons. Not the demons.
You know, you need to get into it, you know, otherwise you're just going to have a life of just just going through the motions and just living in deceit, really.
I got the same question for you, man. Like, what do you think is going on with the men?
Yeah, good question.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Afo here. Just to let you know that we are going to be back with part 2 next week. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Enjoy. We'll see you next week.